Welcome to Aniteck. This is the channel where we review tech for anime purposes, mostly. So for a little while now, I've been shooting video with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Originally, I was using a iPhone 13 Pro Max. And I switched for a few reasons, but the biggest reason was battery, camera, and audio. So if you look at my first video on this channel, I did a unboxing of the HOLLYLAND Mark II Max. This right here is a audio receiver. Big reason why I got it was because I was having issues with sound quality. So I'm about to tell you guys a few tricks that I wish I would have known earlier, coming from a new guy's perspective of actually starting, doing this whole YouTube thing and just making videos. So right now I'm actually using the native speakers with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. No receiver, no other extra equipment. Just so you guys can get a taste of the sound quality. Originally, like I said, I was using the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I was using that to record a friend's videos. He does YouTube dual videos. And so when recording at our car shop, you have these big fans blowing in the background and you have the air conditioning overhead. And so I was getting this problem with this humming sound, like zzz, like when you would be looking at the people play, but you would hear like all of this background and not even actually talking. It was just like almost like white noise in a sense, which I'm gonna actually put some samples of what I'm talking about. And the problem, I made two big mistakes, which is the reason why I actually bought the receiver, which I would have known beforehand. So when using the 13, and this is probably for any actual iPhone in general, or any phone in general, but with the iPhone, I actually can walk you through it. So there were two problems. One is this case. Even though this is a good case, I love this case. It saved my phone quite a bit. I think I bought like the same case twice. The case has it's bad when it comes to actually taking in sound and putting sound out. And that's because of how the grooves are around the case. It's like sound gets trapped in, bounces out, bounces around for a bit, and then it shoots to the speakers. And second, my other biggest problem was that when I was recording, I actually had my phone setting and camera to stereo. Stereo picks up all of the chatter around. I mean, everything, even the crickets chirping. And that made it so even when you're trying to talk, you just had like this noise that's almost kind of pushing out conversation from the people you're actually trying to record.
Okay, so now I'm about to show you how to switch between the mono and stereo settings. This is iOS 18.1.1. This is the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So what you do is you go to camera, and when it says record sound, you'll see you have a choice between stereo and mono. And this is how you can adjust depending on your situation. Okay, I'm putting this in after the fact. I forgot to add it. For whatever reason, if you need to access the audio mix on your phone, you also have to make sure the settings on the receiver is also on mono, on stereo. You go to record mode, and you should be able to see right here. You have both stereo and mono.
Okay, so this is the iPhone 13 Pro Max stereo setting with the case on phone. When I compare it to stereo setting without case, you can tell that the sound quality is noticeably different. Okay, so this is the iPhone 13 Pro Max stereo setting case off phone. Even though it sounds a little bit better, you can still hear this. You can really get the echo in. You probably can still hear a little humming in the background. And this is one of those mistakes that took me a while to actually realize. Make sure you change the stereo setting to avoid this. Choose monos if you're not trying to record everything around you. Okay, so this is iPhone 13 Pro Max case on phone mono audio set. Even when you switch to mono, just because of how certain cases are, you can still get like this background noise that you just heard. And this was one of the biggest issues that I had with actually trying to get my audio, especially when recording certain things. So this is the iPhone 13 Pro Max with the case off, mono setting, and you see that it sounds a lot better. Even though this room is mostly wooden floors, wooden walls, I guess like plaster for the ceiling, the echo is not as bad. So that goes to show how well the actual microphones are on the 13 Pro Max. So for anyone who, and this is not really for iPhone, but just for any other recording devices, make sure you either check your accessories to actually see how well, especially if you're gonna keep them on your phone. Like I said, the biggest problem was the case is good as far as protecting your phone and keeping it safe. It's also water resistant. But the way the structure of the case is, it makes it a lot harder to have good quality audio because the sound would just come in, reverberate back and forth and then come back out. So it does sound distorted, kind of like you're always in a cave. So another feature that I like about the iPhone 16, which I think is exclusive only to the 16 models, is the noise reduction feature that comes along with it. Now, this feature is theoretically, to me, pretty game changer, but reason why I say theoretically, because I haven't found a way to actually take advantage of it. Now, this feature is very particular. Reason being why I say that is because to access it, you actually have to have your record sound setting on either stereo or spatial audio. So also during this, you'll be able to, I'll show you examples during this clip, the different sound qualities that you get.
Okay, so for those who have any wonders about picking up the HOLLYLAND LARK Max, let me show you what you'll be getting and what to be wary of. So you get this case. Most of the details you actually can check in my unboxing video. But the main thing is you get these receivers. And so you get the main receiver and you get two wireless transmitters. Big reason was because I thought something was wrong with my audio quality with my phone, but actually it's just me. You know, it worked actually pretty well. So with the Lightning to USB, you usually plug this in, Lightning port, and then you will plug your phone. And then the other person or people will put a receiver on their shirt or clip or whatever. And then how it lets you know everything is good is because you will be able to see that there's actually a little microphone icon right there. This is the reason why I say to take note. So when I record videos at our car shop, I usually record in 4K 30 frames per second, which usually you don't have to record so highly, but I just do it just because sometimes I have to get card information and I can't contact the people. I could just kind of zoom in on my screen and get the information that I needed because of its higher quality. Now, big problem. the iPhone 13, I think when you plug the receiver in, the phone battery is actually charging the receiver at the same time. So recording 4K for probably like 30 to 40 minutes, so typically like 4 matches, is really gonna drain your battery at recording at 4K. Plus the receiver as well is also draining battery. So I actually bought this. It's actually a cheap power bank. I'll leave information about it in the description. You know, I really haven't fully tested it out to see exactly how useful it is, but as you can see, the receiver takes up the charging port. Now, you can actually use these and they have an option to record wirelessly. You can, without having a receiver, you can just record straight into this. Now, the reason why I usually don't do that is just because sometimes I'm away from camera, and if you have two people, they actually would have to make sure that they press the record button, otherwise you won't get any audio. And so, also, like I said, I'm new with this, so I'm not really used to syncing audio up on Final Cut Pro yet. So that's why I just use a receiver, so when you plug it in, push play, everything connects simultaneously. My battery on my iPhone 13 was actually draining fairly quickly. Now I also want to know this battery is also, I think, down to maybe 81%, so it's minus 19% total from the 100, which, you know, that's pretty much 1/5. But at the same time, it's still, even full, it would still cause a problem. So I actually bought a 2-prong double lightning connector. And so my goal was to see if I could charge it up with the power bank, have the receiver charging at the same time, and have my iPhone charging at the same time. But the problem was, it might be lightning, just how lightning works. Every time I would plug in the 2-prong connector and try to plug the receiver in, try to connect, it wouldn't work. It would connect maybe for just a few seconds, and then it would just drop. That's why I went with the iPhone 16. Like I said, bigger battery, 5 hours longer, at least on spec sheet. Okay, so this is where things get a little tricky with the iPhone 16. So like I said, recording videos, record 4 videos, usually 20 minutes or 40 minutes a piece in the day at about 20% battery left. And it kind of varies depending on if I have Bluetooth, using data, so things can change drastically on that. I bought the charger for the iPhone 13, and I was like, well, since I can't use it for that, let's try with the 16. With your receiver, same thing. You get a USB Type-C to USB Type-C, plug it in. And you get the same little microphone indicator as usual. To prolong battery life, like I said, got the charger, and I bought this. This is the Belkin USB hub. Comes with 4 USB Type-C ports, and you have to be careful with this. This is kind of, I learned this the hard way when I was trying to record last minute. Always check your stuff out in advance. So, the proper way to use this: plug the USB port in, this power bank comes with 3 ports, 2 USB Type A's and 1 USB Type C. Plug C to C. And you have to be careful with this, otherwise this will not work. The hub, you have to be careful about your ports. Everything works accordingly. The receiver charges and the audio port displays, which is exactly what you want. But if you plug into the wrong port, you will get this message which telling you accessory cannot be connected. So make sure you line your ports up correctly. This right here can actually, now also another notion, it says connect, this is just previous notification. Now I will also say this power bank right here does allow for fast charging. At the top, it does fast charge. Now, when you connect multiple devices that draw a lot of power, the fast charging actually stops. So it can only fast charge one device that's plugged in at a time. And I believe that only works with the USB Type-C port. So for anyone who is deciding, I will suggest this hub does come in handy. Like I said, you can connect multiple devices at one time. I'll leave a description for that, or leave a link for this device as well in the description below.
Okay, hopefully this information is somewhat useful to you guys. This is Aniteck, the channel where we review tech for anime purposes, mostly. Hope you guys find something informative about this, and like and subscribe. Catch you guys later.